I'm seriously thinking of buying right now. It feels like it is falling very fast, and that usually means a quick recovery. So 2026 could look juicy. Looking forward, what you, Gerhard, have to say. So yeah, it's an interesting question. I think it very much depends on now the pace of the sell-off. And that's also one of the reasons why I'm making this stream. When we are selling off quickly enough, as quick as we did during the COVID crash, right, where we fell by roughly 60% in the span of 48 hours, then this is clearly a cascaded liquidation event. And that's very similar to what we also saw on the 10th of October of last year. When people are forced to sell, when there is no liquidity in the market, and one stop loss triggers a sell-off, that triggers the next stop loss, that triggers another sell-off, etc., etc., and we see all the leverage getting out of the market, that's a good time to buy. So when the sell-off is quick enough, there was no time for new liquidity to enter, that's a good time to buy the bottoms. It's usually also very hard to buy those bottoms because very often the infrastructure tends to completely break down. So during COVID, actually, it wasn't that easy to buy the bottom because Coinbase went down, Binance went down, and even the decentralized exchanges, say the Uniswaps of this world, they had very high gas fees. So at the time, most people were still directly transacting with the Ethereum chain. And if you wanted to buy the bottom, you had to pay hundreds of dollars just to make a single swap. And the same is true if you wanted to exit. So there was simply just the entire system was very clogged up. The number of transactions spiked massively. And if you see something similar again, right, if first platforms start to go down, if the price tends to go down quickly enough, then it makes sense to buy. If we just trickle down now, hour by hour, a little bit, it's not necessarily a cascaded liquidation event, right? And so then there's a higher chance, I believe, that we just consolidate at the lower level. So it very much depends on what's now going to happen in the next few hours. But so far, we are already selling off way quicker than I thought, right? We're now at $63,000. And this is interesting because this is actually lower than where most other long-term holders took profit during this bull run. So this here is a metric that shows what are the long-term holder whales doing. So when a lot of Bitcoin has been dormant for a while, has not been moved, and then suddenly it gets moved, right? After years of dormancy, it suddenly gets moved, probably in order to get sold. Then this metric spikes. And so interestingly enough, right, the long-term whales, they tend to sell in a bull market, right? They tend to sell into the rally. We've seen this time and time again. And this time they sold at around 70K. So our current price in Bitcoin is already below the price at which the long-term holders, the whales, tended to sell.